All right, welcome back to the Seven Spiritual Laws of Success. This is the second law, the law of giving and receiving. This one is a nice one. This one, well, they're all nice, but this one is particularly nice because it shows how giving and receiving are things that we do on a regular basis, and we just may not even know it. We give every day, whether it's love, um, compliments, blessings, kisses, hugs, and all of that. Those are things that we do as we give, we receive. Why do we give kisses and love and blessings? Because we love someone, because we want to bless someone, because we are blessed and we want to give that back. This is a very important law because it is tied in with nature. Going on walks grounds you. You breathe in the nature, you breathe in the air, you are surrounded by the beautiful nature around you. It gives you life. It recuperates if you need to recharge. So that's receiving from the nature, which you are always giving to nature by practices like love, abundance thinking, all of that. So let's begin with the concept of circulation and nature of life. I just spoke about that one. Um, this is a good one. Giving and receiving are different aspects of the same flow of energy. Let's say, for example, you're in a relationship and you both love each other. You're both giving each other love and you are both receiving love from one another. I'm going to give a personal example, and if you'd like, I would like for you to please share an example of how you practice the law of giving and receiving. So, in my personal relationship, I have engaged in a relationship with someone that I call a catalytic relationship. I give something to my partner, and my partner feels happy. I receive that happiness, and that makes my partner happy. So it's an exchange. There's no thought into it. There's no, I'm going to do it because I have to. It just automatically happens. That is my personal example of how I practice the law of giving and receiving. Does anyone else want to share how they practice this law?
Yes, I will share. So, just a recent memory. I was visiting a dear friend in Palm Springs, and I have been traveling, as you guys know, and I've been picking up some stuff that I've been intending to give to her. So, as we got together and I was able to pass this on to her, she was one very surprised and grateful for the gift and for me to remember her. It came from a spot that she recommended to me a couple weeks ago. She said it was like her favorite spot in the whole planet. And, I thought it would be a good gesture for her sharing that with me. So there was definitely this mutual, just loving exchange of like, hey, I'm grateful for one presenting it to me, and then also I want to give that back to you. And it felt beautiful, and she really appreciated it, and I loved that she was so grateful for it, the way that she expressed it.
And how did you receive her gratitude?
And just showered in just like this, face of like just affection and love, and you didn't have to, that kind of thought. And it's like, knowing that they cherish it makes me feel so good.
That's a great example. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Anyone else?
I would say with my dog right now, I've always take care of him, but now he requires a special attention and more care, more, yeah, just being on top of things and trying to fulfill his every need as he, is coming to the end of his life. But for me to receive the love that he's given me over the years, and one thing I will miss tremendously when he passes is like no matter how hard of a day I'm having, sometimes he will just look at me in such a way that is just in his eyes, the way he looks at me is like it makes my heart melt.
Oh,
It's just the most, it's the cutest thing. And I just watch him, how the way he looks at me is the way that you look at somebody with that you adore. And I can feel the love coming through his eyes, and my heart literally melts. And everything is just better instantly at that moment. And he gives me kisses and he plays. He's, I don't know, it's like his personality, and he has his quirky personality, and so it's such a joy. So he gives me a lot of love and a lot of joy, and I attend to his every need, and anything he wants, I'm there in return. So it's a two-way street.
I love that. That's a very great example. Thank you for sharing that story.
It's my turn.
Yeah,
Okay. Uh, I would say I experience, I mean, I feel that gratitude and that receive and give, with, for example, with my daughter. Um, I help her a lot organizing things here in the apartment, the kitchen, and probably the room, or boxes, or the mailbox, and things like that. There are things that I can do, but as a disabled person, even though that I'm very independent, I need sometimes ask for help. Or and she's very patient. At the same time, she helps me a lot with things that you know probably in another situation um, would be different. That she's very patient. She's expressing her love to me that way. Helping me with a couple things and with the bank or I don't know, making the appointments and couple things that I need to do. And I think that is a really good uh, expression of what is given and received, because we don't have to talk a lot about that. It's just like it's a dynamic that we just learned from each other, right? I'm here for you, and she's for me. So I don't know. I just I think that is my an example for me to give and receive. And well, patience is one of patience, and it's also that's love, right? When you exchange that, it's also showing love and empathy, and that's my yeah, that's what I have. That's what I
excellent. Thank you so much for sharing your story. I do agree that as a father, it's really simple to love and to receive
mm,
love, especially in situations like this where you ask her for help
mm,
and she gives it to you willingly. And then you just feel that love, even though it is something that a daughter should do and wants to do. But it's not by
mm.
force, which we're going to talk about in a
No.
moment. We're going to talk about now the different forms of giving. There could be
Mm,
material gifts, kind words, compliments, and we talked about blessings, hugs, and kisses. Now, this particular story I'm going to tell you right now happened and it kind of came full circle for me. I came to Miami and I was working at Royal Caribbean and I had a book bag that was kind of tearing apart. It was, a little bit old. And one of my coworkers noticed that and he goes, I have a bag and it's brand new and you can have it if you want. And I said, sure, why not? And I just put it out of my mind. I didn't think he was going to really follow through on that. Well, the next day he brought me this bag and I use it daily. I use it to go to work. I use it to travel. It's got compartments for the laptop. It's got compartments for, little things that you could put with a zipper and it's kind of waterproof. I sometimes put my clothes or my shoes or whatever it is. So it just keeps on giving me the ability to use this bag. So recently, last year, I should say, I started working at Royal Caribbean again, and I ran into him, and he goes, "Do you remember when I gave you that bag?" And I said, "Yeah." He goes, "You were very thankful. You were very grateful." And I said, "I still am because I still use that bag, that book bag." So that was a full circle moment, and he just lit up because the expression on my face when he gave it to me the first time 5 years ago and the expression that I had 5 years later was the same one because that bag was just so useful and it was just a thoughtful gift. And it's just things like that just make you feel so good. I mean, he wasn't using it. So he's like, let me just give it to him. And he did. And I received it with gratitude. I received it with love. And it just goes to show that that bag is still going strong after 5 years. Um, right
Amazing.
now, I want to talk about, transitioning into the next concept is giving to yourself through self-care and appreciation. This can come in forms of going to a spa for those that like to go to a spa, um, a massage, you know. In my case, giving to myself would be training, physical training, not just for me, but for the clients. So I'm giving the gift of health to other clients, but I do the exercise routine as well. So I take care of myself, every Thursday, I think or every second Thursday, something like that. I have my self-care day. And my self-care day involves, you know, doing my hair, blow drying it, trimming my nails, uh, doing the little scrub with the soap, the gym, taking care of the protein shake afterward. So, doing laundry, cleaning the house, and because we discussed many times, and I'm going to say it again, your home is your sanctuary. You want to be in a place where you really like to be, where you really want to be. So that aspect of self-care, whether it's through those things or others, learning is a form of self-care. Do we take on projects to elevate ourselves? Do we take on projects to elevate someone else? In these workshops, I do my research so that I can develop the concepts and the principles in an intelligent manner so that the people that are hearing it, that are receiving this information, can get a good quality product, can get the best out of me. So that's one of the things I practice as well. And it's just so unconscious. I just wasn't thinking about it. I'm like, I got to prepare for my lessons. I got to make sure this is right. I don't want to be stumbling over my words because I want the message to go through in a nice, clear, and concise fashion, make it nice and simple. So that's one of the ways I practice the law of giving and receiving. And it does feel good, at least for me, to give of myself in terms of the knowledge that I know, because I don't know who I could be helping. Whoever stumbles across this video or this workshop could be like, you know what? This is what I needed to hear today. This is what I needed in my life right now. I never know. So that's one of the ways I give from me to another person. So I was giving myself the gift of knowledge so that I can give it to someone else. It's all cyclical. We never really know how these words can affect another person's life and carry on that message, not just through their lives, but to the lives of others. Let's see. This one's going to be the obstacles to giving. There are obstacles, believe it or not. Guilt, unworthiness, pride, anger, focus on attention to oneself, like taking, grabbing, being greedy, that disrupts the flow of giving and receiving. When you give something to someone, they have a reaction, which is giving you the feedback. Sometimes forced action, like doing something because you're told when you don't want to do it, it gives a little bit of friction to that law. You want to do something for someone, it comes out of your soul. It comes now. It's different when it's an employment opportunity. If your boss tells you to do something, you do it because it's your job. I'm more talking metaphysically. Do you give something to someone because you want something back? You know, um, I clean someone's room, I'm gonna expect them to clean my room. You know, it's not the way it works. You do it without expectation. You do it because it comes out of you naturally. That's the law of giving and receiving, because when you do receive the many blessings, it's because it's from your soul, from love, from a place of lack of guilt, because it's something that you know is going to elevate someone's day or maybe someone's week. You never really know. So, practicing this law of giving and receiving, it should come naturally to you. You shouldn't expect an outcome, because making someone happy as you give, you're receiving the love, the gratitude from that person. Another form of a giving that our obstacles are, and this is funny because it happens daily and we just don't even know about it. Like, when you're in traffic and you're, I'm mad at traffic and I'm mad at this, whatever. You keep on giving that energy out, you're gonna get more traffic and you're gonna get it daily. So today I was on my way from Venice to Miami, and it just really wasn't a bother. We did run into some traffic, and my friend that's visiting me now, I could see him getting a little bit upset. And I said, you know what? It's okay. We're on time. We don't have a schedule. And this little piece of traffic, it's just really short. It's not even more than 10 minutes. And then shortly after that, it was done and we were back on the road traffic free. So I decided to implement the learnings because I knew I was doing the workshop today. So I was like, you know what? Let's give some peace and tranquility to the driver so that he just won't think about it, and it wasn't for me because I wasn't stressed out. So I was just like, I'm here in the car. I know we're gonna get to our destination on time and safe. So for me, let me remove the stress and anxiety that he's got so that we can get home safely and soundly and just give him some peace and calm at the moment. It was just something that I did because there was really no need for stress. And you don't want to block the flow of giving and receiving, and that was one of the ways of blocking the flow of giving and receiving. The next one, discuss how the law relates to abundance consciousness. Now, I'm going to, oh, I'm so sorry. Before I move on, I'm going to ask Solina. She raised her hand. Let's talk a little bit. What would you like to say?
I have a question.
Of course.
In regards to giving unconditionally, I will say out of love. Um, is the law, what does the law say in cases, for example, where the person is being used and one person keeps giving and giving and the other person doesn't reciprocate? And so when you give one time, two times, 3 times, 10 times, and then the other person starts to feel a little resentful, right? Because it's not reciprocated. Um, and I've seen videos of animals, for example, that are injured or trapped in a fence or anything, and a human rescues them and frees them from that. And the animal comes back to the human and brings a gift to thank them for saving their life. And I see those videos so much, and it made me think about this particular law because I said, how is it that in the animal kingdom is is a given? They understand this law so well, but when it comes to humans, it's so complicated. So when does that law become once, I guess, like the person is has to put boundaries? Like where is that boundary? Where does the boundary apply in this law?
So let's talk about the example with the natural kingdom, which you just talked about. And as you and I, as we discussed earlier today, when you go into nature, nature is just flawless. Nature just gives and receives the young animal, the animal that was hurt. A human comes in and rescues the animal. The animal is grateful and gives the person a gift. That is cyclical. The cycle is broken when the person that is giving is not receiving or is receiving negativity in a non-reciprocal manner. This is tying into one of the laws that we're going to talk about in the future. It is the law of karma. Every action produces an equal yet opposite reaction. The person that is giving the positivity, unfortunately, in this case, is not getting the positivity back. Although the person that's giving is doing it positively, the person is not receiving positively. The person that is giving the negativity is creating a cosmic karmic vibration in a negative form, which means that the law of giving and receiving is interrupted. And therefore, a boundary is set to prevent that action from happening again. So when the person that does the good doesn't receive the good, a boundary is set, which is the law of giving in its place, but it's not giving the equal, it's giving the, let me phrase that, it's giving the opposite reaction. So the law is in place, but not in the way the law should be in place.
So
Does
the
that, go
law
ahead?
is supposed to make both individuals feel good. If
That is
one of them
correct.
is doing an act of kindness and the other person doesn't show appreciation, then at that point the law is broken. Is that what you're saying?
No, the law is not broken. You're just receiving negativity. It's just causing friction on the other end of the person that should be giving the
Mm,
same principle, like the love or the gratitude for receiving the gift that the good person gave.
okay. Thank
And
you.
it is sad that it happens like that because there are people that give without needing to receive because that's not why you do it. You don't do something to get something back. You do something because it comes naturally out of you. Unfortunately, the person that receiving on the receiving end doesn't feel that way and they feel like they have to grab and receive without giving. John, I believe you raised your hand.
I just wanted to add a little comment. I don't know if this is on the right track, Eldon, but sometimes even when the person's not necessarily reciprocating that generosity, still like be what's the word I'm looking for? Like stay who you are, that generous person that you are, right? Because you may not receive it from that person, and maybe this is due to the law of karma, but that good that you're doing, you are going to get it some other shape or form. And might not be directly from that person that you gave it to, but maybe from a stranger, family, or a friend that might do it instead. Sort of like the universe intervened and made sure that you still got your like token of appreciation. I know that's happened for me quite often. So that's why when I do give, I don't think about, oh, what am I waiting to receive? However, I still would say it is important to just be aware, who you're interacting with and if boundaries need to be set, or you just say, okay, I'm not going to necessarily make myself that accessible to that person, you know? But I don't believe that you're going to be like in debt because there's always the universe will always make up for that. That's how I see it. I don't know if you agree, Eldon.
I do agree there is a flow, and your well, okay, I'm sorry. I'm not going to say it's you because I don't know it's you. The person that's giving, it's giving, this person is giving selflessly, which is a very, very big strength. So to jump on the point that John was making is it doesn't necessarily have to come from the person that's receiving it that doesn't give back. You can receive it in forms of love from another person, opportunities for abundance in other ways, maybe monetarily, maybe job opportunities, whatever. The universe has a perfect accounting system, I've learned. And there are people that just take without giving, without giving, without giving. They're racking up negative karma points with the universe. This is not something that the person giving should be concerned with. Give it to the universe, let it go. The universe knows the person's heart that's giving. And the universe is going to say, you know what? You did something good. I'm going to give you more of that. I'm going to give you a tiny example. My friend in London, in Los Angeles, his mom is she's getting ready to transition to the other life or transition out of this life. And every time she has a need, he's there. She unfortunately cannot get up from bed to give to her son that's helping her out. Now, this is not anything that is her fault. She's ill, but she even tells him, I told him, and other tells him, all of the work you're doing right now is going to come back to you tenfold. He's not even thinking about it. He's the son. He takes care of his mother because he loves his mother. So, in a different situation, let's go back to your example, Solina. The person that is giving to the person that is receiving, and the person that is receiving is not giving back, that is none of the receiver's choice. That is none of the receiver's issue. That is none of the receiver's problem because the universe is going to take care of the person that gave selflessly.
Yeah,
Even
I get that.
though, I'm
Yes,
so sorry.
I get that concept.
Uh-huh.
But also heard in podcasts and things like that, audiobooks regarding um, abundance and the law of karma and all of that. And they say that it has to be at least appreciated. It's not like you give with the expectation. Obviously, you give without the expectation of receiving. That's the way it should be. Um, but to give someone who does not appreciate or is using you, and it needs to be put a boundary there because the universe is saying, mm, you need to learn where you are putting your energy because it is not is reciprocated in, as you said earlier, in a negative way, right? And so it is supposed to flow in a way that produces wellness all around, not necessarily in the case of your friend that is taking care of the elderly mother. I mean, that's obvious, is given. The mother won't be able to reciprocate, but the mother has given him her entire life, to look after the children, right? So it's almost like he's now reciprocating everything she did for him, right? So that's basically what's happening. But what I'm saying is that there are times where some people just take advantage of others, or you keep giving or something and they just don't appreciate it. And so you feel hurt because you coming, out of the goodness of your heart, and someone just doesn't get it, doesn't appreciate it. And so you feel like you're putting your energy in a place where it's not appreciated. And I heard other pieces of information, other workshops where they say, in that case, you put a boundary and you focus your energy where you know is going to be appreciated because that's where the energy flows. Is that was my question more
Yeah,
based.
I agree 100% with that. I want to add a little bit to it. Let's talk about setting a boundary. That is self-care. That is a form of giving to yourself. Whether the person that is giving doesn't receive back, well, they are kind of receiving, that non-reciprocal is giving non-interest. That is giving the person, I'm just going to take from you and I'm going to abuse you or I'm going to whatever. They're getting that, which is not the way it should be done. This law is not practiced in that way. This law is practiced in selflessness. in helping, in giving, in loving, in complimenting, in doing something because it's good. You know, we discussed that there are good and bad people. The person that is receiving this gift from the receiver is not appreciating this gift, is not taking into account this person is spending their time, their energy, their love to reciprocate back that love, that energy, that time, that caring. So as the person that gives to the receiver gets that negativity back, a boundary, yes, has to be set. This is a self-care tactic. What you're not getting from that person, you're giving to yourself. The universe is giving it to you. So this is an example of how the law of giving and receiving works. Because you may not be receiving that from another, you receiving it from yourself and from the universe. The law is still in action. It's just not the way that the receiver desires that action to take place, which then goes to the law of karma. The person that is receiving that love, that attention, that caring doesn't reciprocate that. The universe has something else for that person. And that is something that you should not worry about because it's a perfect accounting system that the universe has, and every debt has to be paid. Do not put a finger into getting that back because then now you're doing it for a reason. You know, I need to get back what I gave. No, 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 no. That doesn't, you can do that. It's just not a positive way of doing it. And the purpose of the workshops for me to you, to all that listen, are to become spiritual success examples. They are called the seven spiritual laws of success, whether they are success in your heart, in your mind, in your job, in your life, with partners, with anything. These laws have to be met. We're never going to get, like, there are people that work really hard for 20 years, they leave another job and their salary goes down. They expected much more, but you got to put food on the table. You're not going to go and be like, I'm going to quit and I hate this job. No, 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 no. You want to be grateful. You want to give gratitude for the fact that you have a job. And then if you want to go look for another job, go ahead. But we don't want to give negative because we get negative.
Correct. Yeah. It's just that when I saw those videos of the animals, I
Mm-hmm.
understood what this law was all about. That's when I got clarity because the animal kingdom just understand this law so
Mm-hmm.
easily. But for us humans, it's a little bit more complicated. We make everything so complicated, don't we?
We do add barriers, that is correct. And this is one of the reasons why I present these because we're not going to be perfect individuals. However, we can strive to be successful spiritually so that we can receive the love from the universe, the abundance of the universe, because guess what? We're all worthy of it.
Thank you.
Oh, you're most welcome, Selena. Now, let's talk about jumping into the law, how it relates to abundance consciousness. This is one that I am working on myself. I have another story, like always. During the pandemic, nobody was working. People that were working in the offices were not working anymore. So I had just come from a trip from Morocco and I didn't have any work, and I really wasn't worried about it, to be honest, because I knew that something was coming up. So I was just like, let the universe take care of it. I learned that what you want wants you more. And in this particular case, I was like, you know what? Let me generate some good vibes. Let me manifest a job my way. So I ended up working on one of my clients' websites in Chicago, and it took me about a week to get done. And this client, I've worked with this client for years. So I really did it out of the goodness of my heart without any reward. I just didn't mind doing it. And I've told many people this time, not this time in this community, that I learned that using my skills and abilities to help other people is one of my gifts, my purpose in life. So I did this website for this client, and no sooner than I finished the website, I get a call for an interview for a job. Work from home, doing what I do, email marketing, HTML marketing. So that was one of the ways that I used the law of giving and receiving for abundance consciousness. Did I think I'm going to do this so that I can get a job? No, I did it because I wanted to. In terms of abundance consciousness, the more you give, the more you receive.
Mhm.
You give love, you get love. Let's take the example Solina gave. I don't know who this person is. Let's just say that this is a romantic relationship. And the person that is giving the gifts to the person that is not giving back, let's say the person that is giving finally says, you know what? I've had it. I set a boundary. I set two boundaries. I set seven boundaries. I set 15 boundaries. This person is just not for me. Guess what the universe has in mind? I'm going to give this person the person they deserve. They learned their lesson here. They are moving on in their life. I'm going to give the person the one the one they deserve, because this love, that this outpouring of love, emotion, attention, caring is falling onto the person that is not deserving of it and is giving negativity to the person that's giving positivity. I'm taking this person out of this relationship and giving that person a person that is deserving. So this is why I say the universe has a perfect accounting system. You have a partner that doesn't give you back what you deserve, the universe will find someone else for you. I firmly, firmly believe that. If it doesn't work at job A, it works better at job B. If person A is not giving, the universe is going to give you person B. If it doesn't work here, it works over there. That is the law of giving and receiving. You worked on person A, you worked on job A, you worked on situation A, but you learned about yourself. You learned this was not the spot for me. The universe is going to put you in the spot that is. Does anyone want to share a little bit on that? Go ahead, John.
I agree with that. I'm so glad that you mentioned that because it is absolutely true. I mean, from my experience, um, realizing when it's time to go, right? When you make that decision, it's like, this is not for me. I'm not really getting the equal exchange of love and energy and devotion to the person as I should receive. And also because we want to make sure that we're respecting ourselves, you come to that awareness and you make a decision. And what I realize is that when they say when one door closes, another one opens, I'm telling you, when one door closes, many more will open. You will find that the person that didn't respect you or see you and give you the love that you deserve, the universe, just like you said, I couldn't have said it better, is like, well, now I'm going to reward you because you know now your self-worth. You recognize that you deserve more. And you will get what you didn't get from this space that you've been wanting and waiting from someone else. And you're like, my cup is overflowing with so much love. So there's no lack anymore because you realize something in that interaction that you deserve better for yourself. And I feel like you're just like evolving and you're growing as a spiritual person for sure in that process. So thank you for
Absolutely.
saying that.
Yeah, absolutely. That it's how many people have you seen, they're working at a job and they're doing their best and the boss doesn't see it, and then the boss's boss sees it. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna take this person out of this department and put him in that department. It's just as simple as little as that.
Mhm.
Solina, did I answer that question for you? Is that something that you can understand and resonate with?
Yeah, no, is You answered it perfectly. I'm not thinking a specific or particular scenario per se. I'm just trying to compare to other things I've heard in other sources regarding this particular law. And because there is a lot, especially for women, um, there is a lot of belief systems that are downloaded on us saying, well, just give unconditional and keep giving, and it doesn't matter how you're treated or mistreated, I will say. You're just supposed to keep giving no matter what. And I learned that that's not the case. John is, with his example, is perfect example because you're supposed to learn a lesson. And once you learn the lesson, then the universe will reciprocate. But if you stay there and keep giving and suffering and you become a martyr and you don't learn the lesson, and the universe is just waiting until you learn the lesson, move on so they can give you what you deserve. So that's the part that I wanted to for us to talk about because specifically for women is like it's an expectation. They just keep giving, 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 and until there is no more left, and is not appreciated sometimes. Sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not, and end up losing themselves, in relationships, in work, in so many things, and you pay a big price for that. So thank you for clarifying. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Um, One thing that I've learned always in terms of that journey, it is always hardest right before it comes before it becomes easy. When working on a project, especially me as a web developer, I can't figure it out and it's hard and I can't figure it out. But once it clicks, it's I found a solution. Now I can move on. It happens that way in in examples like this. You you're being good, you're being nice, you're giving, not getting and all of that. And you're not doing it to get. You're doing it because unfortunately in this situation, you're indoctrinated to do so. Be good and be nice and no, whatever. And you will get, not you, because I don't know if it's you, one will get to the point where I've had enough. I'm done with this. I'm gonna go seek my journey. I'm gonna go continue my journey somewhere else with someone that does appreciate because you just learned your lesson. And you are right, Solina. The universe recognizes when you learn your lesson and it puts that person in the position they need to be in. It's like the universe is like, you know what? You got it. We're moving you from this department to that department, whether it's a spiritual department or otherwise. Before we move on to the workshop questions, is there anything else that the participants in the class would like to share?
No, well, I would like to say that when you talk about abundance, the conscious, when you feel that inside that you have everything already, is magic. But not because you believe. I mean, it's faith and believe it, but it's not. It's more. It's beyond that. It's feeling. It's like a that feel that you have everything, and the universe and God manifest things like this, and everything is, uh, you meet the person that you need to meet, and you go through situations that you need to go through, and at the end, the universe give you what you deserve, but it's because you already know that you have it. I mean,
Correct.
it's like yeah, it's like yeah, it's behave, but from that place that is already mine, and it's amazing. It's great. But
Excellent.
yeah, I wanted to say that.
No, you're
Thank you
absolutely
all.
right. I believe you said something, and it goes with what John and I talk about, divine timing.
Divine time. Hmm.
And I thank you for bringing that up, even though you didn't say those words, because yes, you're right. The universe is going to put you where you need to be at
Hmm.
the time the universe is. You have to learn the lesson, or you have to help someone, or you have to receive. This is what we're
Hmm.
talking about, giving and receiving. It all happens in divine timing.
Hmm.
Absolutely, John, go ahead.
Just a comment because I love that share too. And also with just what Selena brought up and what we were discussing about, just learning our lesson, right? And knowing that when it's time, like you you gain your wisdom about the situation, and you're just like, okay, I believe in my heart of hearts that I deserve better than this, and you make a decision. And what you said, Eldon, and now I'm actually putting all the rest of these spiritual laws that we're gonna get into starting to, I feel like it's gonna have a glue now because of this piece that you said, which is the universe is like, and maybe that's the purpose, our soul's purpose is for us to discover these things, when we are attempting to do that checks and balances, and it's not adding up, and you're like, I'm doing this, I'm trying to be a decent human being, even though I'm seeing that the rest of the world isn't. It's like, well, that was the contrast that the universe wanted to offer you so that you can get to this point. And so it's a journey, of course, has some obstacles along the way, some realizations, but nonetheless, you're on the journey and you're making progress. So it's finding that beauty in the underlining of everything that's happening around you, good or bad, and maybe not labeling it at all. But yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, I'm a firm believer in the work that I do right now is preparing me to unleash goodness on my clients. I've helped many clients. I didn't ask for a single penny. I'm not doing it for that. I'm learning my craft so that when the time comes, I can charge good rates for my services. But it's not that time right now. And I'm patient. I have the knowledge of divine timing. So the next we're gonna now move into a practical exercise, and I'm gonna ask one question, and you can give from one sentence to whatever you want. There's no time limit here. How do you currently practice giving and receiving in your life? For me, I'm gonna start it off. Workshops like this. I'm giving you knowledge so that I can learn myself. Am I giving it for another intention? No, I intend to give because I know that I'm going to receive love and other opportunities for that. I'm not doing it for the money. I'm not doing it for rewards. I'm doing it because it comes out of me naturally. So the question, same question for all. How do you currently practice giving and receiving in your life?
I will say, I mean, we can always give material things, and that's cool and all, and I'm sure a lot of people appreciate that. But I believe that one of the best things that I can give to others is quality time, quality time and presence, and just being there with them, holding space, exchanging information, because it goes both ways. I always learn so much, especially in interactions and workshops and sessions like these. Um, and then finally, respect. I think that's underrated these days. Just having respect for others and the individuality of that person, seeing that person exactly for they are and valuing them exactly for who they are, considering them and their feelings. You know, I'm not gonna hurt myself by not doing something how I normally do it by just holding this space for this person. So that's my 2 cents on that. Thank you, Eldon.
No, that's totally fine. It just gives me a thought of I'm not going to set myself on fire to keep you warm.
Mm.
Does anyone else want to answer the question and share how they currently practice giving and receiving?
Well, I mentioned already about my dog and I, but I also attend workshops and I receive the wisdom from others that help me in my healing journey and becoming a better human. But I also have a little group of women that I am there for them. It's not as big, and sometimes nobody shows up. Sometimes it's one or two, and it's very intimate. But at least I'm there for them on a consistent basis,
Wonderful.
and I'm also there for people, I guess, because of um, I'm trying to implement the wealth of information that I come across on a regular basis. But sometimes, unless you apply in your life, it's just useless information unless you actually practice it. But sometimes I have such a wealth of information that um, when someone is going through something, I can share that information that I learned from others. So kind of taking information from this person that shared their wisdom with me and then try to apply it and then share it with somebody else, how my experience was applying that information, I can help someone else when they're struggling with a similar situation like I've been through. So I try to be there for others as well, friends or anybody that needs a moment like that. Like John said, just hold space, listen to what they're going through, and share from a place of experience. And so they really appreciate it because they feel heard, they feel that supported, and the information that I share seems to help them in what they're going through.
Wonderful. Thank you. Yeah, that's exactly it. I do want to say something. You are not trying to be there for them. You are there for them. You
Yes.
are providing that service. So thank you. Yeah. Umberto, would you like to explain how you currently practice giving and receiving in your life?
Yes. Um, with my talent, with my drums, I volunteer a lot in churches, playing my drums and giving my talent. And, uh, it's passion and love what I have. And I share that to the people who goes to the church and they see the performance and they have that experience, the music. For me, it's that satisfaction doesn't have any price. It's my job, and of course, I receive money playing drums in another bands and different things. But in general, my talent and my music and is what I do is uh, without expecting receiving sometimes material things, like money or it's just for the satisfaction, the joy I feel when I play my drums and my music, and I give that a lot. I mean, I give a lot in churches and when I volunteered, and I receive uh, people. Everybody's very happy and wow. And for me, it's that it doesn't have a price. I mean, it doesn't have. It's not. You cannot value that with money because it's another level of satisfaction and gratitude. And I would say that could be an example for me how I give and receive, and
Wow,
well,
that's a
that's
wonderful
why.
example. Yeah, and you and I met a while ago, and you know, you artists, people that write, people that sing, people that play instruments, they're just creative individuals that just give selflessly with their work. And yes, that's a very good example. Thank you for sharing your story.
Thank you, Eldon.
You're very welcome. Now on to the second workshop question. This one's a little bit tougher. What are some personal barriers or beliefs that prevent you from fully embracing the cycle of giving and receiving? I'm going to start with this one because it's something that I'm not that I have, but that I work on every time. Like you get anxious or you're waiting for something, you know, you apply for that job or you did that phone call or you sent a text message to someone and you're like, when's it coming? When's it coming? Why don't they get back to me? I learned to let that go. That's one of the things that like you planted the seed, watch the plant grow. Stop looking at it all the time. Is it growing? Is it coming? Or is that person going to respond to my text? Or when am I going to get that call for that job? I let it go. If the universe wants me at that job, if the universe wants me to get that call, if the universe wants me to get that text, the universe will send it all. So that's one of the beliefs and barriers that I am working on just basically daily in my life. Just plant the seed, let it go. Stop worrying about if it's coming or not. Stop looking at that phone.
I,
Absolutely, John. Go ahead.
I also believe that one of my barriers have been for a long time, and I think that's that indoctrination that Selena was talking about. But also not feeling I realize that now, but it was more about like not feeling worthy of it, right? And it's like, you're asking for too much, or you're always, you know, asking for help or needing this or taking this. And so you feel like, someone's gonna look at you now as taking advantage, right? It's like who are you to deserve all of this, right? And so that mindset was something that I was with for why wouldn't I deserve this? And it made me just open up more to receiving. It's like, you know what? Yes, I do deserve it. Thank you. Thank you. And it also came with I don't have to do something back to show that I'm really grateful. Just a simple and genuine thank you goes a long way. So it's not like an IOU kind of thing. So I had to remove that as well. Thank you for that question. That was a good one.
Of course. Anyone else would like to share?
For me, it's more like fear sometimes, fear of what's coming. Like sometimes the status quo is not that bad, and then you feel like um, if if this falls apart, then because you have to kind of take a leap of faith sometimes,
Correct.
and that's very scary. So that's one thing, and the other thing will be, yeah, like um, when you grow up, when a lot of people kind of question everything you say or invalidate your intuition or things you feel or perceive, and it's constantly questioned, and you cannot doubt yourself a lot, and so that's kind of um, learning to trust my intuition, learning to trust myself again is something that I'm trying to work on.
That you are working on.
I am sorry. I need to remove the spot. Thank you. Thank
Good
you.
catch, Eldon.
I am.
You're
I
on it.
am working on. Yeah, no, I'm not trying because try is not enough. I am doing it.
You are
Thank
working on it. Listen, I find myself saying the same thing too. I'm trying to do, no, 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 no. I am building a business. I'm not trying to do it. I am doing it. But thank you, Solina, for sharing. I do agree with you on that. We do have, especially as Latin Americans, we do have that societal pressure, our parental pressure. Why do you think you need that? Why do you think you deserve that? Did you work hard for that? Stop asking. Don't go to ask people for stuff. Don't ask people for money. Don't ask people for that. It's unfortunate that we are taught those things because it limits us. And it's very sad because we are limitless beings. We really are. We tap into the universe, and the universe gives us what we deserve, what we are, what we love, what we seek, what we go get. You know what I mean? And you're in a brand new country. Don't ask for this, and they have different societal norms, and don't behave that way, and don't say things that so we all of these things are just drummed into our heads because as children of immigrants, we're kind of gifted this country, where we are contributing elements of this country as well. And we do want to give and we do want to contribute to society. We do want to work at jobs that we love and we do want to hang out with people that we love and we do want to do vacations that we love and deserve, but it's those limiting beliefs that in my practice I attempt to remove from people because of societal pressures and parental roles and, you know, Latin American isms, so those are the things that I'm glad that you brought up, that it's a challenge. That's why I posed the question. It's not easy to say, I'm going to go give and receive, because it's the law of giving and receiving. It's tough because there are these barriers. Humberto, would you like to be next?
Yes. Um, One of the barriers that I would say that the cycle is not good sometimes for me is because I feel frustration, a lot of frustration. Let me give you an example. Friends and I, we went to Panda Express, the restaurant Panda Express,
Mm-hmm.
and they give us a coupon. If you do the survey, you're gonna get a free meal. And my friend and I said, okay, perfect, I'm gonna do it. When I get home, I was trying to do it online because it's online survey. I couldn't because it was not accessible for me. I couldn't pick the options, and and I wait. I stopped thinking about that. Well, I do it later. Then I realized my friend told me, "Hey, I have my free meal already." And I said, you know what? I couldn't do it because I couldn't see. I mean, it's not accessible with the voiceover. Let me see if I can help. Let me see. Can you help me? I asked him. And he told me no, because the survey has to be done 2 days, just for 2 days after you receive the coupon. So after 2 days, you're not going to do it. You cannot do it. You're not allowed to do it. So it's just an example. It's just this. It's something that is very silly. I don't know how to say it, but it's just an example. That sometimes I feel that frustration, and easily I forget all the amazing things that I have. Just in that moment, because I feel that frustration, and I start asking, why can I do, why I cannot do this? Why I cannot? Why is have to be so difficult? It's always the question, why is so difficult? And that's a barrier that that doesn't allow me to
Mm-hmm.
receive and to remember how blessed I am, because I
Wow.
have a lot. I mean, I have more than, I don't know, that a lot of people would like to be in, have the life that I have, like you or Selena. But we forget that very easy. In that moments we forget that.
Yeah.
And well, yeah. And that would that I one of the barriers I would say is frustration in that kind of situation. And what I do is like to breathe and to understand that if I compare what I cannot do, what the thing that I have done and that I'm still doing, there's no reason to no frustration. I mean, why? You have a lot of things, man. You have a lot. What are you complaining for that? But well, I just try to relax and breathe and and try to remember to connect again with love and emotion. Yeah, to never forget that I'm a blessed in the universe is giving me a lot already. So, but well, that would be my barrier for it.
Right. Well, thank you so much
Mm.
for sharing. We are wrapping up. Are there any questions that you would like to ask me before we go into the summaries?
No?
I think we're clear. Thank you, Algon. Very
You
good.
are very welcome. Just to do summary, a little bit of key points. Giving and receiving is something that should come naturally to you. Don't force it. Don't do it because you want a reward. Don't do it because you want someone to love you or promote you. You do it because it comes naturally. The universe will reward you. It doesn't have to be the person that you're giving this to. It doesn't have to be the person you're giving affection to or you're working hard for at a job. The universe knows your heart, knows your mind, knows your intention. The universe has a perfect accounting system. We were going to discuss the law of karma in a couple of the work in one of the workshops. Don't do things for others that you feel you want to get back. If someone is not reciprocating, that's okay. You are getting what you're giving, but that person is giving negatively. The universe has what's coming to them because the universe's accounting system. Do not force any action that will harm another person. Do not give bad because you received bad. So I want to give everyone a warm thank you. I don't want to harm
Thank you,
anyone.
Will.
I want to give everyone
harmless thank
a
you.
harmless thank you. No, it's a warm thank you. And thank you once again for participating in this workshop and having me learn. I'm going to stop the recording now, and you all have yourselves a great day. If you want to stick around after, you can, but I'm just going to stop the recording.